In recent years, the debate around politics and entertainment has split the population into two very distinct groups. The first of the groups feel that the influence and reach of the entertainment industry should be utilized in a manner which shines a light on the injustices of the world, as well as be used to raise money for charitable causes. The second group think that TV and sport should be for entertainment only, and that politics should be kept separate. They feel they should be able to sit back and get lost in their beloved football team without having to be bombarded by politics and causes. Of course, the real issue isn't as black and white as I've portrayed it, and at least on the face, I can see how each group would arrive at their feelings toward the matter, but let me state very clearly, in this video I will be analysing the political themes within the Amazon Prime TV show The Boys. I will not be overtly discussing my own political beliefs. However, I recognise that they will inevitably shape my thinking in some way, as nothing in this world is truly unbiased, but I'll do my best. So, despite this divide, it is very common for film and TV to have political messages laced throughout the plot, a lot of the time hidden beneath the surface, needing deep analysis to uncover. However, despite political themes being ubiquitous in TV and film, in recent years, movies and shows being influenced by politics has caused outrage on one side or the other. Therefore, it's astonishing that The Boys makes no attempt to hide its political message. It stands proudly and shouts it loudly from the rooftop. And you know what? There hasn't been any outrage about it. There hasn't been anyone complaining that Amazon Prime are pushing an agenda, like we've seen happen so many times with Netflix offerings. Perhaps the answer lies purely in the sheer brilliance of the writing, or maybe it's because people aren't able to bridge the gap from the superhero-ridden world that The Boys creates and the world in which we live. Either of those would be fair reasons, but the real reason for the lack of outrage at being slapped repeatedly with political views, to me, is the fact that the show focuses on two things that most people believe. Number 1, Nazis are bad. Number 2, sexual assault is bad. It's by choosing these two themes to focus on that the writers have given themselves the best chance not to face backlash for getting political. And if there were viewers offended at the very bold statement that The Boys makes, there isn't really a way for them to communicate these feelings without coming across as pro-Nazi or as a rape apologist. Ironically, by making this video, I might be inviting some of the hate that the show didn't receive onto my own doorstep. I'm sorry if I offend anyone by drawing these parallels. Actually, wait there. If I offend anyone by criticizing Nazis and sexual predators, there's the door. Don't let it hit you on the way out. The politics of Season 1. Starlight and the Deep. One of the main storylines throughout the first season of The Boys was the sexual abuse suffered by Starlight at the hands of one of her heroes and new colleagues, the Deep. Now, you would need to be living under a rock not to have noticed the overt parallels between the storyline and the real-life movement of female members of the entertainment industry courageously lifting the lid on the widespread sexual abuse, i.e., the Me Too movement. In real life, there were many people who spoke out against the Me Too movement, whether that be other women who were worried about their career prospects, or people who felt there needed to be concrete proof and you shouldn't just take women at their word, or even men who for some unknown reason to me felt personally attacked at the idea that other men were being shown to be sexual predators and held accountable for it. Now again, I am not making a claim on the validity of the Me Too movement. I don't even feel that it's my place to do so. What I will say, however, is that I believe that the reason The Boys was able to portray themes of this movement without facing the wrath of the aforementioned groups is because there is no denying that it happened. We see the moments leading up to the assault, and we understand that the man is using his position of power to intimidate the new young female employee into performing a sexual act for him against her will. In The Boys, the Seven, a team of superhero crime fighters run by the power-hungry corporation Vought, represent the Hollywood elite, an elite in which power is everything. This structure of power in the company becomes very evident when Starlight, a young, good-looking, wholesome American girl, much like Margot Robbie's character in Bombshell, gets recruited to the Seven. She immediately becomes a victim of this power. The Deep intimidates her into sexual favors, something which seems to be the norm at Vought, as when she seeks to confide in another female superhero, Queen Maeve, she's told to keep her mouth shut, and that's how you survive in the Seven. This story being told in The Boys is a direct analogy to many of the stories given by multiple women from the entertainment industry, and if it takes setting it in an unrealistic world with superheroes for everyone to be on the abuse victim's side, so be it. The politics of Season 2. Stormfront. In the second season of The Boys, they turn their attention from sexual abuse to the equally horrific topic of white supremacy. The Supers, who have been created by Vought, play the role of the Aryan race, who the actual Nazi Stormfront views as superior to the normal, not super, people. This characterization does a fantastic job of including the panto-style big bad that is the Nazis, in a similar vein to the way Captain America does. However, as well as being over-the-top villains, the Nazis in The Boys are used as an analogy to certain groups gaining traction in America at the moment. In fact, this particular theme is portrayed in the haunting opening sequence of episode 7 of season 2, which shows us how harmful hate-filled rhetoric can be, especially when the individual is in an echo chamber, brought about by targeted content, which unfortunately has become the norm thanks to social media companies valuing ad revenue above all else. I felt that the show handled this very real phenomena with respect and subtlety. It would have been very easy to insinuate that the shooter was solely at fault. Let me be clear, I think he's guilty of murder and deserves to be charged for murder. But I felt the writer clearly laid some of the blame at Stormfront's feet, which when extrapolated to the real-world political climate, was a very bold thing for them to do. There is even further nuance built into the incredibly daring season, when cell phone footage of Homelander letting a plane full of people die takes center stage in the climax of the season. I found this plot point to draw striking parallels with the heinous occurrence of police officers being filmed visibly mistreating members of the black community and in some instances, killing them. The video of Homelander depicts the fact that he has no regard for the human life on board the plane. Interestingly, they've decided to use the film to blackmail the blonde leader of the Seven, rather than expose him for the cold-blooded supremacist he is. I'm interested to see how they continue this in Season 3. Lastly, if you doubt any of these parallels to real-life politics, think about this. If they weren't making a statement on the real world, why would they have included a character that is almost a carbon copy of a particular young congresswoman from New York? Well, all except for the ability to blow up heads, I suppose. In conclusion, The Boys does a fantastic job of showing politics in the real world within the show. What I think is also extra brilliant about it is the fact that they managed to do so without causing outrage on either side. In my opinion, this is a hugely positive thing for human beings, because after all, it seems we can all agree on two things. Nazis are bad, and sexual assault is bad. And if we can all agree on that, then maybe our kind isn't doomed after all.